Hi, everybody. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the community, and today we are back for 2020.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, Happy New Year. The Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. My co-host happens to be Mr. Paul Friedlander.
Yes, ma'am. And pleasure to be here, and pleasure to see you in this brand spanking new year. And
I know.
Here's to an awesome 2020 for everybody out there.
Exactly. And one of the things that we love making it awesome is promoting the different businesses at the Chamber of Commerce. And our first guest in our segment happens to be Melissa Brown today. She's the Chief Executive Soapsmith for Nautilus Soap Company. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
We are all really taken in with what you've created. So you've had your business now for about 4 years, right?
Almost, yes.
So what made you get into this business?
It actually started as a hobby.
Yeah?
I had a really stressful job, and at the end of the day, I was just like, so I took this on just to kind of relieve some stress, and found out how much I really loved it, and it just kind of unleashed a creativity in me I didn't know I had.
Isn't that
Awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's
that
awesome.
You can do a business that you love and it helps relax you. And I was going to ask you that question just before the show. So let's talk about each one of them and why they're different. That when somebody goes out looking for something that is going to do them well, what makes yours different, your products?
Well, as far as soap goes, sometimes what you see in the grocery store, the big box stores, is not actually soap. I call it fake soap. But they're mostly detergent bars.
Really?
In fact, you will find that if you pick up the packaging, it will not say the word soap on it, because it's not soap.
That is very interesting.
Yes. But this is.
But this is. So why is it?
Actually soap.
Yeah, what makes it soap?
The actual legal definition for soap is, in a nutshell, oils and butters, like, coconut oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, things like that, mixed with a mixture of lye and water. It's a very precise measurement. You put those things together and you get the compound known as soap.
Nice, nice. I wish we had smell-o-vision.
Yeah, that would be
because
cool.
the whole studio is just exuding with this wonderful aroma. So let's go through each one of the products. I know we have a short segment, but we can do this so that you can understand that we have the real deal here, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And,
so
and some very unique promotional type of items with soap for
Yes.
some clients you've done. Why don't talk to us a little bit about the little light bulb over there?
Yes, I'm actually starting to do more work for other businesses at this point. And one of the things I can do is do a custom mold of that business's logo. For instance, this is a friend of mine who has an electrical business, and this is their logo. And so we brought it to life in 3D, actually made it bulbous and everything instead of just a flat item. And so then we made a vacuum form mold of it. Now I take this mold and I make bath bombs for her and package them with her labeling, and she uses them for promotional items when she's doing events.
Good idea.
So that could be done for just about anything. The sky's the limit on that.
Sure, exactly. So I see that you have a sugar scrub over there.
I do.
I love sugar scrubs.
This one is in particular pumpkin pie, but I was asked by a local spa to do one in pineapple because they just really had a thing for pineapple, and I did it, and they love it. They not only use it on their clients, but they sell it in the retail section of their spa.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Nice.
So
that's so good.
Nice.
that's what we do for them.
And so I have this personalized. It appears to be a nose. Tell me about this.
It is a nose. We did a vacuum form mold of a nose. It was actually my idea because that particular item is an aromatherapy product, and it's especially for the shower. And that one is for when you have that sinus infection or a bad cold or whatever. It has menthol and eucalyptus in it. So you put it in the back of the shower, And the steam from the shower will release the essential oils in it. So
Oh.
it helps you.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, and not that we're making any claims to cure anything
No,
from
not at
nasal
all.
infections or anything like that, but just to get relief, right?
Yes.
I think how many of you have gotten sick out there and you go, gosh, if I could just breathe. So it releases the essential oils. Is it when the hot, steamy water hits it? Is that what it does?
The steam from the shower.
Yeah.
If you don't put it directly underwater, now,
Right.
if you hit water on it, it's going to start to bubble up.
Nice.
But it'll last longer if you don't.
So the nose knows when the steam is
You
going.
just couldn't wait to say that,
Had
right?
to do that.
I
Had to get
know.
it in there sometime.
And excuse me, what about this pretty little one?
Now that's an example of another bath bomb that we do that is a hibiscus flower. Just an example of the sky's the limit. If you can dream it up, we can make it up.
Melissa, I'm probably asking this from a guy's perspective, and I'm assuming most ladies probably know, but what exactly is a bath bomb?
I'm glad you asked because actually a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
And I did actually do a blog post about this yesterday because some people don't know. A bath bomb is actually a mixture of, it has to have two basic ingredients, and that is citric acid and baking soda. That is what actually makes it active, but I have some other things in there too, avocado oil and things like that, mixed with the fragrance and a colorant perhaps, and you put those in a form such as the flower or whatever you would like, and we set that to dry, and once it dries then I might color it some more, I might
Nice.
not. You drop it into your bathtub while you've got your bath running, and it will bubble and fizz, and it'll make pretty colors, and it'll
neat.
smell delightful.
Oh, and it's a
a
work of
luxury bath.
art.
It is.
It is really a work of art. But look at all those colors. So what you're saying is when it hits the water, these
Those colors will come out. Plus, they 99% of the time I put different colors on the inside, and when I'm making it, so as it fizzes down, other colors will start to come out.
Oh, magical.
Yes.
Yeah,
John's asking.
That doesn't stain your body.
No. I use a little ingredient called polysorbate 80, which is an emulsifier, and
Okay.
it keeps the oil from floating on top of your water. It keeps colors from staining your tub or your body.
Wow, these sound like fun.
They are
You had
fun.
to do a lot of research just to help yourself as a hobby to get relaxed by
Yes.
making soap,
I
real
did.
soap.
I did a lot of research.
Nice.
And we were looking at what here?
Now, this is a handmade lotion, and this one in particular is called Sea Oats,
Okay.
because it's the same scent that my most popular soap is done in. So I wanted a lotion to match the soap, because
Sure.
a lot of people like to group their scents together. So
Nice.
it doesn't have all the icky stuff in there that you might find in the store.
And you can tell the difference when you have
Yes.
natural ingredients. You can just feel it on your skin.
Yes, and a little goes a long way.
That's good. Let me
Yes.
see. Oh,
No, you want me now, don't you? We do have fun. with this
only
show,
on
yeah.
my chamber TV with West Pasco.
It does. It's really, really nice.
Thank you.
And then what do we have here?
This is actually just a sample of another flavor, and this is the pineapple that
Oh,
I told you about.
Yes, I know. I snipped that earlier.
Ooh,
that is
pretty,
that
yeah,
wonderful?
That's good. Almost smells like eating
Yeah.
material.
That
Gotta
is the
keep that away
closest
from the
thing
kids.
to the real deal. Yeah.
And so,
So.
these lotions, all your own ingredients. How do you?
Actually, another soap making friend of mine
Okay.
did the groundwork for that, and
Gotcha.
so she helps me out by actually making the base of this, and I put my own packaging, my own fragrances, and that sort of thing
Okay.
to it. So to
And
make it my own.
So I understand. So somebody can say, Melissa, I'd like a hand lotion. I'd like it to smell like I don't know,
Coconut.
salted caramel, or coconut, or
Exactly.
something like that. And you have the ability to be able to.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
That
and
is
then
nice.
I asked you about this earlier. That's pretty cool. Talk to us about that.
Well, this is another thing that I could do for other businesses that want to perhaps private label, carry their own line of things. I could make them their own soap. As you see, mine has Nautilus Soap Company in it. And I use this stamp. It's an acrylic laser cut stamp. But we could do the same thing for any other business.
Sure.
So we could put their logo and their company name on it, or whatever they wanted on it. And we stamp the soap the day of or the day after I unmold it while it's still a little soft. And it will take the imprint, and then we let it cure.
Nice.
That is just the coolest. It really, I love anything that's customized, and
Yes.
this is so perfect for promoting
It is.
businesses.
I mean, you got the nose, you got the bath bombs.
Got it all, really. Did we miss anything at all?
The
Oh,
only
yes.
other thing is the lip balms. We'd like to, people love these. I get a lot of very positive feedback because there's only 3 ingredients in it. All it is coconut oil, beeswax, and the flavoring.
Ooh.
And so there's none of the extra stuff that's not needed.
Right.
So everybody loves them, but a lot of people, other businesses like to use these also for leave-behinds, promotional
Sure.
items.
Goodie bags.
Yeah,
Goodie bags.
Those are great. Yeah, what is the cost on something like that?
This one is $250 retail.
Okay. If somebody wanted to get one private labeled and get them, get amounts, is there breakdowns for them if there's
Yes.
multiples? Okay.
Yes, there
because
is.
see, an item like that, and we have one that we use with my company. It's a wonderful giveaway in a get bag for a golf tournament.
Sure.
Something like that, because the golfers are out there. It's hot, so those are always cool things. And I guess we're getting ready to wind
We
down.
certainly
Told you
are.
that 12 minutes goes quick, but we appreciate you being on here.
Thank you
Wonderful
for having
product
me.
line. I'll let you take us out.
I'm telling
girl.
you, we've just got a few seconds remaining, and I'm glad to see you as a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you
and
so
you've got a
much.
wonderful business, so hope to see you around town. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for having
right.
me.
Stick around. We have more coming up right here on My Chamber TV. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Welcome back to our second segment of the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce, My Chamber TV. I'm so excited. It's a new year, 2020.
I know.
My partner in crime was not feeling well towards the end of the year, so I did the show the last time solo.
And thank you for that.
But look how beautiful she looks today. So,
Oh, it's 2020. Nothing keeps me down.
Paul Friedlander here with My Total Title Solutions, representing the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce, and my lovely, not really co-host, she is the host,
We're
Miss
both
Barbara
hosts.
Marvel Kelly.
Thank you. And
And
I
we have an awesome
We have a
guest.
really wonderful guest coming out. I can't wait to introduce you to her, Randa Moore. That is the most beautiful name. Randa, that is so pretty. And welcome. You're with Coldwell Banker.
Yes, I am.
And I wish the segment would have been filmed just before the show, because you were telling me about why you're a realtor and how you want to reach out to your buyers and sellers. You have special financing and different things. Tell us what's going on in the real estate world for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of really exciting programs that I have for people. And for the normal person buying and selling a home, it comes easy. And you have your typical first-time home buyer programs. We have down payment assistance programs. I've got programs for people that are selling that want to compete with the iBuyers. But the newest program that had just came to me 1 week ago is for that in-between buyer that I can't get financed. And I have a brand new program that it's not based on your credit score, it's based on your ability to pay your bills. So it's really going to open up for Pasco County, and it's for those medium income people or those that are just below medium income. And I'm going to be able to help them this year, and I got my first person who's actually going to start this program with me.
That is awesome. Don't you find that you're really helping with finding solutions for people that would give anything to have their dream home, their first home, their first-time buyer going out there that maybe never thought that they would ever be able to afford a home?
Oh, I know. And this is perfect for the people that maybe had a hospital bill or some tragic event that happened. And just as long as it hasn't happened within the last 2 years, no foreclosures, I can help. So this really opens up my whole buyer-seller market. And I'm really excited because there are wonderful people here in Pasco County. I love this county. And I can't wait to share.
And guys, if you can't tell, I had the privilege of meeting Randa the first time. Probably, I believe it was back towards the middle, the end of August, up at the Florida Association of Realtors. Had lunch with her and her broker, Greg Armstrong. And if you can't tell, I got to be honest with you. There's a lot of realtors out there that are good. There's a lot of realtors out there that are passionate. But this lady takes passion for what she does to a whole new level, to just a brand spanking new level. So you just tell us some more about what makes you so passionate about this. I love your passion for this.
I love meeting the people. I meet so many people, and I have one guy from Chicago that I talked to, and I've spoken to him for like an hour and a half one night. And I don't know, it's not just buying a home or finding that home to sell. It's meeting and having that connection with them. And I end up being a family friend. And we start making plans, making events. I know everything about his wife and his kid and where he wants his kid to go to school. And I know where his budget is. And he sent me out. He sent me out to go look at these homes for him because he trusts me. And so I can come back and say, I don't know about this one because unless you're prepared to put this much in, maybe we shouldn't go for that because you're coming from out of state. We kind of want one ready for you, not one fixer-upper. So he trusts my judgment, and
That's
I
great.
love that.
Yes, yes. It makes a difference when you build that trust relationship. And that's what people are doing today. They are building relationships. And in the real estate world, my goodness, you know what's going on out there, right?
And I talked about passion. The one thing I want to tell is that she, not only did I first meet her, but she immediately clung on to my coattails because she knew I was out in the community, and she has followed. She'll call and she said, "Where do I need to be?" She knows how important it is to be out in the community, and that's where the chamber has helped too. Has
Oh my gosh, yes! I'm at the chamber events. We get ribbon cuttings. I have done things where we were raising money for Toys for Tots.
Yes.
I was there giving the toys away, and I've really love this community, and I love being part of all the business owners with the chambers, and I've gotten to meet some great people everywhere. They're so helpful, and I've had some good networking leads for me as well as them, because now I have all these lists of people that I know do this, this, and that, and people come to me now like, hey, Randa, do you know a new carpenter? I'm like, yep.
And that's good, because you're a walking wheelhouse of information no matter
Right.
where you go. So good for you. That's exciting. So I bet you have a list, because you're very personable, and I think people are looking for a realtor that does have that benefit with what they're doing in their profession, is when you can be personable and kind and help them with their real estate solutions.
Yes, and I do love that. I got some more listings coming up this week, and not only do I've got a great program through Coldwell Banker that if you're looking at selling your home right now, it is a great time to sell. I actually have computer programs that help me design a marketing strategy just for your property. I know where the buyers are coming from, and I can actually target market that area where they're coming from. So depending on where you live, I'm going to know where to market your home and get the most for your biggest asset that you have.
And speaking of that, Randa, talk to everybody about how important is this. You know, you got people like myself and Barb that are in that sort of that older or more mature
Speak for yourself.
more mature generation. But how important is I know one of the things you jumped on right away was the technology, and I know you're really for the videos and the things like that. Talk about how important that is to helping somebody buy and or sell a house.
Everyone's on the internet now. Most real estate, their searches, everyone's on their internet, and they're using their phones now. And I've started my own Instagram account now, and I have my Facebook account, and I'm starting new videos, and I'm getting my platform ready for YouTube videos, because that's where the audience is. Unfortunately, our age group we're not checking the mail anymore. And so we have to focus our whole target market on the internet, and that's our future, and smart homes. And these kids, that's where they are.
But
Yeah.
even in a high-tech world, how important is the high touch?
Oh boy, it is everything
Yep.
right now. That's where the whole market's going. The whole, everything we do is on the internet. We shop on the internet. You can get your groceries on the internet. People were buying homes and putting offers in, and I'm working with a buyer that's out of the country right now, and we're putting offers together. Everything is social media and
How important is it, as John just asked, how important is it for you growing your business on the real estate side?
It's growing tremendously. I just got picked up another client just through Facebook. And I was just responding to someone's request for help, and I'm like, hey, I think I can help you. Or I have advertisements out on Facebook and Instagram. It's growing tremendously, and I'm really pleased with the results. So
That is so good. I love to hear that, and especially for somebody that I can tell you put your all into it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And it's kind of like making friends with these people that are looking for homes, or whether they're looking to sell them. They want to believe and trust in you. And let's face it, there are a lot of realtors out there, but there's a difference. There is a difference with some, and I think you have that quality.
Oh, thank you.
That's great. Now, how long have you been a member with the Chamber?
It's August of last year.
Since August.
So that's great. So, and obviously being a member of the Chamber has helped you out considerably.
Well, I became an ambassador.
Yes, she's one of our ambassadors.
I
Yes.
am.
She's
Yay.
one of our ambassadors. And again, it's the real estate part of why she's being so successful is she has immersed herself in the community. She loves the community.
Yeah.
And you and I talk about this
Yep.
before.
Yep.
It's not always just about real estate, but by being out in the community, people think volunteering is work. And what volunteering is marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Volunteering is marketing. Volunteering is getting that, that pretty young face right there out in the community, and then
That's right.
realizing that she's a realtor and not thinking twice about, I'm the same thing. I've had a deal because somebody saw me on Facebook.
Right.
and so
People had people come to my door and saying, "Oh my gosh, I know you," and they were trying to sell me clean my carpets, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I have tile," and she's like, "I know you, I've seen you," and I'm like, "Well, I'm on social media," and actually, she became one of my buyers.
Isn't that great? And you just never know, right?
Yeah. And so it is, and I do love this community. That's where most people are seeing me right now. I'm volunteering for as much as I possibly can because Pasco County's been one of the most generous counties I've ever lived. They care about the people. They have the most passion, and I share that. And I cannot wait to help more and more people find their dream home or sell their home and help them get the next stage that they're ready for. It's just a really exciting time for me.
I'll tell you, it is very exciting, and I know we're running out of time, but this is one big reason why you should contact Randa and work with a realtor who you can trust, and she can really help you find that dream home or sell the home that you, and if you want to do a market analysis, right?
Yep.
Give her a call and see. Sometimes we don't know what our homes are whether they're fluctuating, going up or down in value, and what you can do. Oh, and something else, because of the financing that you have right at your fingertips, if somebody maybe wasn't able to buy a home last year, maybe they had to rent for a couple of years, coming up a year from now, you may be able to tell them what they need to do in preparation, right?
Yes,
for
exactly.
when that almighty day comes where they're ready to go. They got some money to put down. They haven't gone out and opened a bunch of credit card account, right?
Right.
And these are things that you can have her help you with. So I think it's great.
As we wind down, how do they get in touch with you? What's a good phone number for them to reach you at?
My phone number is 707-387-2534.
Well, that's great that we have that, and it's great having you, and thank you for joining us on My
Thank you.
Chamber TV.
Take care.
Stick around. We'll be right back. And we're back again. My Chamber TV. Welcome in, everyone. It's great having you with us again. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is Paul Friedlander.
Yes, ma'am, I am. With
You are. And
Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome
Happy New Year.
to
If you're just
2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Everybody's going to be smarter this year because they're going to have 2020 hindsight.
Oh boy.
See?
Oh,
It's my
I've been,
co-host.
I've been saving this stuff up.
That's great. That's really great.
Barb goes, keep saving it, please.
I know, right? So we have Raine Johns with Raine Johns Law, and I was talking to you just before the show. Very, very interesting, your work. So welcome
you.
to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is
We're excited.
awesome.
Now, when we first met, you actually were not employed by yourself, but what did you when we first met, what were you doing?
When we first met, I was the CEO at the Coalition for the Homeless
Homeless.
here in Pasco County, and
Yes.
I did that for approximately 2 years.
Yep.
Really?
And you started your career in law doing what?
I started my career at the Public Defender's Office, a proud assistant public defender for 13 years. I was a senior assistant public defender. I was the only attorney there that actually I practiced civil law because I did all of the Baker Acts, and I also did the homeless outreach, which also was some of the criminal too. And I was in charge of the entire Sixth Circuit for Baker Acts and for mental health and homeless outreach for several years.
Jeez. So
What
you've got
is-
real rounded. Now that you're the law offices of Raine Johns, what's your specialty?
Well, going back to the coalition, though, the
Please.
reason that I left is because I did great work there. I was
You
able
did.
to double the revenue. I
Yep.
realigned things, things that are still in process today. However, what I wasn't able to do was help people directly. And it was hard because
Yeah.
I would hear clients in the waiting room and I had to work on a grant or administrative, and I knew how to help them and I couldn't.
Because of your yeah.
Exactly.
See, I was just going to ask you, what is the backstory? What drove you into this driving force? And you just answered my questions. You wanted to. So how does that make you feel working with people directly? My goodness gracious, that's a lot.
I love it though. That's what I'm good at. That's where my passion is. I like to connect with my clients, with their families, doing elder law and estate planning. Of course, we have a client or the couple or the single person, but we also have to work with the entire family and the family dynamics and bringing everyone together and making
Family
sure
dynamics.
that, which can be interesting, but making sure that the overall concern, both legally and within the family, is for the client.
Nice, very nice.
That's awesome.
You can see that you just beam fulfilling your passion. And
Thank you. I love it.
And you fit right into the community. We were talking earlier on about the heartbeat of the Pasco County area. I mean, there's just so many wonderful people that give back in the community. And looks like you're definitely
Yeah.
on your road to success here for sure.
Yes. And and you may have mentioned, I apologize if it went, but how did you, when you said you were when you were in the public defender's office, to get into that line, was there anybody else even doing that, the Baker Act side of things and the homeless side of things, or?
They were doing it before I did, because previously, before I started doing Baker Acts in the Public Defender's Office years ago,
Yes.
it would be a short-term rotation. So what was happening is that there would be attorneys that were doing it that were taught by attorneys who only did it for a short time. And when Bob Dellinger, who's still the elected public defender for the Sixth Circuit, when he put me there, he brought me into the office and he's sitting in the big chair and I'm on the other side of the big desk, and he said, "Young lady, I expect you to win some Baker Acts because we're not winning." And he knew that I had the passion for it.
Yeah.
And I didn't win a single Baker Act case for 6 months. 6 months, because we really had to teach the judicial system, the hospitals, the families, the facilities, that we were serious about representing the mental health clients. And after I won my first appeal, that was it. Then I started winning.
Then you really, yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. So can you walk us through the Baker Act? You were asking questions earlier on about the time frame and just who is a candidate to be Baker Acted?
Okay, so in Florida, under the Florida Mental Health Act, which we call the Baker Act, which
Right.
is very confusing because when we say somebody was Baker acted, it could be by law enforcement, it could be from a judge. So we use the same name for everything. And I can almost compare it to the Alaskans with snow. They have what, several hundred words for snow for the different variations. But in Florida, we only have one word for pretty much the entire mental health process, which really adds to the confusion.
Oh, yeah.
So in order to be Baker acted in Florida, the person has to be a danger to themselves or to others, and or be unable to take care of themselves. So it's not necessarily just one, it could be several or all of those elements. And I ask often, like, how long is a Baker Act for? In fact, do you know, Paul? How
72 hours.
72 hours. So that's actually not correct.
Okay.
But that's what
most people think.
That's the common belief in Florida, that it's 72 hours, and people will say, "Oh, my 72 hours are up. I'll be released now." No. I was like, "No, actually, you're not." So the 72 hours is really a filing deadline that the hospitals have. So if the hospital wants to hold the person past 72 hours, excluding weekends and holidays, they have to file prior to the expiration of the 72 hours. And they have some other responsibilities as well. The person has to be seen within a certain amount of time, and it has to be documented. But really, it's a filing deadline. And a person in Florida can technically or legally, somebody can be held for the rest of their life under a Baker Act. It's that serious and that long, but it's at 6 months interval. So at the expiration of the 6 months, it has to go before the judge again, but it could happen perpetually.
Gotcha. And so is the 72 hours in hospital terminology, is that more, are they there under observation at that point, or are they inpatient?
It depends on the person.
Okay.
Somebody could hit the doors, they can sign in voluntarily.
Yep.
Somebody can, the hospital might realize that they just need to be released. There's some family dynamics going on. Maybe they just want the family and the patient to calm down. So there's all sorts of variations on the legal status.
And here's
really
my confusion. I got to ask you, what is winning a Baker Act case? What
I was wondering the same thing. Yeah, right. Who's the winner here?
Yeah. What were you? Who were you defending? The patient?
I was defending the patient.
Okay.
I laughed at that because that a lot of us in the system for mental health, we talk about the fact there really is no win. You don't win either way.
Right.
So if I get somebody out, at that time at the public defender's office, if I got somebody out who really needed to be held longer, and I got them out, then they weren't getting the treatment they needed. I mean, I won as far as due process and social justice.
Gotcha.
Right.
Was it a win for the family? Not always. Sometimes, but not always. So it's hard to say what a win was.
So does a Baker acted person, do they automatically go under the public defender's office right away, or is that just dependent on the situation?
That's another great question. In the Sixth Circuit, they automatically go under the public defender's office for indigent services.
Okay.
Technically, it's supposed to be somebody who can't afford to pay for legal counsel, but if the hospitals are holding them in and saying that they can't make a decision and that they lack capacity, basically at that point, then is it fair for us to rely on their statements of wealth or lack thereof to decide if they should have an attorney?
And so are you, as soon as somebody goes into, say, a Baker here and they're Baker acted, is their next step, the hospital's next step, to contact your office immediately?
The clerk of court does that.
Okay. But the hospital has to notify somebody.
So the hospital they have the 72-hour filing deadline.
Right.
And when the clerk receives that, they're set for a hearing.
Okay.
And the public defender's office is notified. And at this point now, for me as private counsel, sometimes the families will call me, and I'll represent the family, not necessarily the person who's been Baker acted, because the family realizes the person's about to be released at the hearing, and they're saying, they're spending too much money, they're acting erratically, maybe starting to show signs of dementia. Can you help them get held longer for treatment?
And that's got to be such a fine line, but what...
That's what I'm thinking, too.
It's got to be such a fine line, but how do you... Let's say that let's say it's a 25, 30-year-old that's got senior parents whose parents are in their 60s or 70s, and it's just out of control. And yet they get defended and they're going to be released. How do you help those people that are just can't control it anymore? What happens to that person in the system?
It really depends on the symptoms that they're having.
Okay.
Because somebody who can't be controlled anymore, perhaps they need to go to an assisted living facility.
Okay.
And that's a way that I can help them, that I practice elder law now, which
Right.
includes mental health. But I can help with asset protection. We can help getting them set up for long-term care. And if they have some capacity, because capacity is in flux, and if they're able to, one of the first things we would want to do is get them to get a healthcare surrogate. We want to get the family involved. We want to have a surrogate appointed. We want to do those things. We want a HIPAA authorization, especially when we see that the dementia is starting or a severe mental illness. It's starting,
Right.
but they can still make decisions. So it's very important that they get those advance directives in.
Well, I see we're winding down. I could ask them.
Oh, I know. This
This
is
great.
so
I could stay here for another
fascinating.
12 or 15 minutes.
I've learned more from
Yes.
you just
you.
now on the Baker Act and the process. I have a million more questions myself.
Well, I can tell you that I'm working on a book on the
Oh,
Baker Act.
oh, good.
And it's difficult, but I'm making sure that I'm writing it at a level that everyone can understand.
Very
Nice.
nice.
Because I get so many questions about the Baker Act.
Sure.
That's
sure.
awesome. That is awesome. Well, Happy New Year as we start to wind down.
Yes.
How do they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me through my office, 727-645-5784. And they can also get a hold of me through the website, which is rainejohnslaw.com.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us
you.
today. This has been very enlightening.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for joining us too. And if you want to know more information about the Baker Act and the different things that we've been talking about
You've been a
today,
member of Chamber for how long?
2 years now.
2 years
I think.
now.
2 years.
That's awesome. So she's not new. So you do elder law. Do you also work with people that have disability situations too?
I do. So
Okay.
elder law, and the reason that
we're
I...
winding out. I just wanted to
Oh,
get you to
yes,
say
I
that you
do.
do. Okay.
And veterans
Thank you
benefits.
so much for being on.
thank
We
you, dear one.
appreciate it.
We'll be
you.
right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the fourth segment of My Chamber TV, the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce. I'm Paul Friedlander, one of your hosts, and I have the beautiful Miss Barbara Marville Kelly, the host, next to me. And we are honored today because at the last minute I got him to come on in and talk to us, the president of the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Tim McLean, and we have got some awesome things to share with you. There is some phenomenal stuff going on this month, along with ribbon cuttings and everything else. We have the famous, it is the 27th Business Development Week. It's all you, big guy. Talk to us.
Yeah, this is a premier event that formerly was put on by the West Pasco Chamber of Commerce and now has become the signature event for the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce. And it is a week long of business activities. It gives you the ability to actually send some of your employees out to some of these sessions to learn things, etc. So let me give you a great example. For instance, if you look up on Wednesday, Paul.
Yes, sir.
We have the Department of Labor speaking. So you may say to yourself, well, who's that for? I don't know. Well, if you've got more than one employee, you got labor issues, folks. I'm just telling you that right now. Unless you're just a one-person show, you've got issues with labor. This is a chance to get a hold of someone from the Department of Labor and ask questions. I like to term it asking for a friend. Not me, but for a friend who, has a tendency to sometimes maybe not follow the rules. So I've heard her before. Let me give you an example of this. This is a great question, right? Can I give my employees comp time? I worked 48 hours this week, right?
Yep.
Can I take a few days, hours off next week and maybe the week after and make up for it? So you just pay me for 40. Illegal, unless you're the government. The government can do that. They have comp time,
Of course they
but
can.
not an individual business. That doesn't sound like a lot because what does the employee tell you? Oh, don't worry about it. No, don't worry. Just I'll make it up. Don't worry. And it goes well until that employee leaves or
not
gets
happy.
fired.
Yeah.
Then guess what happens? They call the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor comes in and goes, well, so did you ever just pay her for him or her for 40 hours and then give them comp time? Oh, yeah, because they wanted to. You just violated the law. And it ain't easy when it comes to penalties, et cetera, that you can get from it. Simple things like that you can learn. Do I have to pay on-call time? Do I have to pay travel time? But anyway, great opportunity. Anybody who owns a business in Pasco County should go to this. They have no clue who you are. They get no attendance.
Yep.
Ask for a friend. That's the way I say it.
And you don't have to be a member. I just want to point everybody out. This is open to everybody in our community. You do not have to be a member of the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce. And that is going to be at 1:45 on Wednesday, January 29th. And all these programs, these next couple that Tim is going to talk about, are taking place at Marchman Technical College.
Yeah, an active shooter comes right after that. You can make it an afternoon. Your employee just takes off a few. You do have to pay them during that time. They take off a few hours. But the next one is active shooter, and I hope you never ever need this training.
Who's speaking to that?
It has happened in the Tampa Bay area. So the person that presents it, Scott Bowers, I've heard this presentation also, and he literally has a PowerPoint, but he also has a video that will just stop your heart. Yeah, it's worth attending just to be prepared. I hope you never use it ever, but just to know. And that's just the kind of stuff that's here. Social media, digital marketing, that stuff's important to all businesses, and that's on Friday. It kicks off Michelle Smith, which is actually a former Olympian.
Right.
Works for ESPN.
Oh,
yeah,
great.
She's our kickoff speaker, so come listen to her. It's a full week of going out, letting your employees learn, and it doesn't cost you that much. Really, the only time it costs you something is if there's food involved.
A lunch or a breakfast.
Sometimes there's actually
and it's very inexpensive.
Oh, yeah, $12, $13, $14, $15.
The kickoff lunch is at Spartan, and that's one that's 30.
But that's a nice sit-down.
That's a great sit-down lunch.
yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's a great
talk
sit-down.
Talk about some of these. I love some of these titles. Talk about some of the titles on Tuesday, Tim.
Well, Tuesday is geared, it's at PHSC, and it's really geared towards the educational. So if you look out, Burnout is a medical diagnostics. This is I'm pretty sure he's a PhD most likely. If not, he's a clinical manager. Yeah, LP.
Clinic,
He's got 4 titles past his name: CAPOS, LMHC. Anyway, it's really good again for your employees to learn that coaching, resilience in the workplace, same thing. And these are geared at the university, a lot of the students go and see those. Successful women in business.
That is one of the most successful turnouts during Business Development Week, as long as I've been involved. And we actually have a veteran of that panel right here.
Yes.
Who were you on the stage with when you did your? Do you remember?
Successful Women for Business.
Yes.
And it was our gal from Channel 10, and there was a lawyer there, and we won People's Choice.
Yes, you did.
And it was
wonderful.
the best. Like I say, it was put on so well, and it was so informative. And education is power. And we were talking about the active shooter and all the different. I mean, what can you lose but everything that you can gain by going and really listening to these people? They're very motivational and very inspirational.
We got an awesome event Tuesday night. Talk about that one, big guy.
Well, that's the fun. It's the expo. So if you go to the Business Expo, it's you can be a vendor. I have a form if you need it, or you can get it online at greaterpasco.com. But at the same time, we have, 40 to 50 vendors usually is what's there. It's a health fair and a business expo. You can go and get health checkups in the sense of blood pressure, usually readings, and some other things that the health side of it will do, the health fair part of it. But that, if I recall right, I do believe Dynamic Title by Gigi and the mortgage firm and Trinity give away I'm just trying to check the size. It is a 50-inch TV, and it's free. Just show up, enter, and you could win the TV that night. You walk out with the TV. This is no coupon certificate. You walk out with it, and we will help you carry it out.
Yep, and then the other part is that we will be having, I believe, WeBeam TV will be there not only with a booth, but they will be doing impromptu interviews with the vendors that are there that night. So that'll be a very, guys, that's a good chance for you to, it'll be, I don't know that it'll be live streamed, but it will show up on Facebook. Barbara will probably be there helping host and things, but it'll be a fun evening. And again, it's not your typical just vendor. If you have a medically related company, there is place for you there at this one. It's not just a quote-unquote what I consider a typical trade show. It is both business and medical or health, shall I say. Yeah. And I'm sure there'll be people there doing screenings.
And that's the stuff that goes on there, as well as food samples.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's sort of, food samples and screening. Maybe but I tell you, Culver's was there last year with ice cream. I'm just saying.
Yum.
And so there's samples, so the restaurants get a chance for you to check them out without having to drive there. Also, it's at the event center. Don't want to miss that.
Yes.
So that's off of Little and Trouble Creek.
Yep, right at the corner there. A lot of people don't realize that Verizon store sitting on the corner there has a 10,000 square foot expo hall behind it.
It's amazing.
They go, where's it at? It's on that corner. Wasn't that the Verizon? Yeah, except if you go around back, guess what? And Jeff Delizio has always been wonderful to us over there.
Great.
Does everything. The social media that Tim talked about, this is going to be interesting this year because we actually have not your typical panel of 3, but we have a panel of 6 people that are going to talk about digital and social media marketing. So, and that's at the conference center at the Trinity Medical Center. That's going to be, and that's we need an RSVP, but there's no cost to that. The hospital always provides a really nice continental breakfast because that starts at 8:30 in the morning. I'm interested in this 11:30 to 12:30, brain hacks for performance and productivity.
Medical Center of Trinity. I will tell you, Robin Lavich is the speaker.
Yes.
I'm very familiar with her. I worked with her many years ago in BNI, actually.
I know her from that too.
Exactly, and so she always has a great program, and you always will learn something from this. And so she'll keep your attention. She usually has some interaction that'll be fun with you also. And come on, brain hacks. I mean, we got to check this out.
We do need to. Just the title makes me go okay, and. I think it's been a couple of years, but the PEDC has come back on board to work with us and talk about that event.
Yeah, we have the economic forecast, which is provided by the PEDC, and what happens is it's really geared. This is the one thing I will say that's geared for usually your higher executive, managerial director-ish kind of position. So I mean, that doesn't mean you can't go. I'm just saying it's geared because. Let's be honest, it's economics. It can be boring. But no, it's actually very interesting. They will take the county and tell you things that are happening and should be and give you national trends, and you're just looking at it going, wow, I didn't know it. So
it's like a wake-up.
It is. So don't let me make fun of it in the sense of that way. But honestly, There will be a lot of CFOs, CEOs,
Yes, there
owners,
will be.
presidents of companies at this. It's a great event. We're very glad Bill gave me a call and we were able to get the PDC back involved in Business Development Week. It's just a great way to end the week.
Oh, yeah, it is.
And you can go to, and that is set up through their website. You can go to their website. And for anybody that had done it a few years back, it used to be at Saddlebrook. And I just want to let you know that it is now at the new Hyatt Place right there at 56 and 75 and everything. It's got a beautiful convention center if you haven't been out there yet. So that's where it's going to be. And it's just going to be a fun week. Guys, go to the chamber calendar. It's greaterpasco.com. There are ribbon cuttings this month. Come out and support your smaller businesses. I think we actually have 5 ribbon cuttings coming up this month.
Yes.
Nice.
We have brochure exchanges that are sponsored by Synergy Ad Specialties on the 3rd Thursday and by New York Life, Helge Orn on the 1st Thursday, and by, I believe, our new one is now Carol Ryan with Liberty Accounting
Tax,
and
Accounting.
And that's the 4th Thursday every month.
And then you've got ASAP Printing does the one now that we do over in the Land O'Lakes area.
Yes, so we've got you now have a full corridor. If you're a business, this chamber should be a no-brainer for you because it gives you opportunities to see 1,000 plus members other than yourself. So
I
we're
just wanted to
excited
ask
about
you
what we're
about that.
doing.
Huge.
1101.
1101.
I looked
There
at
you
the
go.
number yesterday.
There you go.
1101.
That is
So you got
fantastic.
1,100 other people you can talk to.
Yeah, I was even surprised. I knew it was creeping, but 1101 is what I saw.
And we're winding down, but Tim, we really appreciate you being on today, Miss
Yes,
Barbara.
thanks for coming over here today. This is awesome.
I love it. It's anytime we can talk about the great things going on,
Yes.
I love to share.
Well, and we love doing it too and presenting My Chamber TV to you. I mean, think about it. If you're a business owner, you want to check this chamber out. And if you want to go to these events, I mean, this is truly an amazing event. We want to thank you for joining us today for our first show for 2020.
the Greater
Take
Pasco
care.
Chamber of
We'll see you
Commerce.
next time.
Yes, 2020.
There you go. Appreciate you, bro.